Louie C. the Mayor, what is going on, my people? Thank y'all for tuning in to the podcast right now. All love. Boy, I got to tell you, boy, the temperature is hot. If you think that temperature is hot in the city, well, the city hall temperature is at an all-time hot. I mean, it's for real. Shout out to FloridaKeysEnergy.com. Lord for all accidents in the Keys. If you have an accident in a moped, bicycle, car, or God forbid, out there in that big ocean, all you got to do is go to FloridaKeysEnergy.com. No need to go to Miami, New York, anywhere else. Stay local, 302 Southern Street. And Advanced Urgent Care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. We got a new Keys Care plan now, as close as you can get to affordable health care. And man, oh man, my man Fats over here, we like to eat some Cuban food. I've been looking for Cuban food, some new one for 20 years. Have you found paradise? 124 Duval Street. Do me a favor, hit the notifications button right over here. Woo! And on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button right here in this corner. Woo! And today, boy, I'm going to tell you what the world is. It's the world according to Fats on a Tuesday night, man. This is my #1 commissioner of all time in the building. Fats, I see you spliffy. How you doing today? You want to give the people a little introduction on what's going on?
You know, I'm getting the rhythm for the boop. I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm getting it. Tony Yanis, you know, my nickname has been Fat since I was 9 years old, and you know, I was lucky enough. My family came here in the mid 1800s on my grandmother's side, on my father's side, in the 1920s, and feel I have them called Cuban roots. I was honored to be a city commissioner and represent the city for 4 years, and however, it pales in comparison to the 40-some years that I've tried real hard to be a community activist. As you know, my hashtag is community first, so that's what I'm about.
Well, that is absolutely wonderful, and it's not you trying, you are doing it, because it's very hard. As you know, Fats, is very hard to make everybody happy, especially in the Conch Republic. It's not going to happen. You know this character right here?
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Backed by popular demand at Key West High School.
Backed by popular demand, my boy Chris Valdez.
Matter of fact, let's get a roll call going. I had this. I want to get Key West High School roll call. Let me know what year you graduated. And come on in with any questions that you got. So, Fats, we're going to go ahead and get to the meats and potatoes, because there's a lot of meats, a lot of potatoes, a lot of side dishes, the whole 9 yards right now. Right. So the temperature of City Hall is red 38 hot. What's going on, my man?
You know, that's, as you and I talked about last time, it sure is no fun time to be on that day. It was never a fun time, actually, but that's not true. But it's a tough time to be up there. I know that there's, as I said to you before, we're facing a true conundrum in our community, in our planet, really. On one hand, you have a pandemic that's killing people. On the other hand, you have an economic catastrophe. And so you're getting pulled apart by two equal forces. And I guess the resolution put forth by Commissioners Wardlow and Kaufman that would allow people to actually get served at a bar in groups of no more than 4, obviously 6 feet apart. And that's what is what's being discussed, I guess, as we take this or
yeah.
do this.
Also, they're talking about masks out there. You got a mask for every day of the week. Boy, you doing it big.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing how human beings will take a lemon and make lemonade, right? I mean, the first few days we were tying rags, and now look at my boy Michael Knowles.
Yeah. Who is Michael Knowles on production?
With his
USA.
American Star Spangled Banner, and you got your conchs, and I got my I make my political statement very well known. But it's amazing how we adapt to things and you know, created a fashion statement out of masks.
Masks are like ID. You should have it on you, because you're breaking the law if you don't. It's serious. Come on in right now on the podcast. All love, and I see. Look, you know that lady right there?
Absolutely, wonderful lady, great family, the Arnolds. And, you know, a shout out to them. Always been great in the community, and we're glad they're on board.
Yes, and Stock Island was the future. Now we're in the moment. Stock Island is growing by the weed, and we said this for a long time. I got my man DJ DOS all the way from the SWAT team in New York City checking in. Nice. All love right now. So anybody, Key West High School, let me know what year you graduated. We're going to do a little roll call. There she is.
There she is. Always.
Who's that?
That's my girl.
Atavia.
That's Clayton's baby.
1993. So we got 93, 71, and 86 in the building doing it big. So Fats, let's keep rocking and rolling here. What do you say to people that want to keep the city locked down?
You know, again, you and I were talking earlier about this. If you asking me to wear the hat of somebody that's dependent most of my life, the last 50 years, on tourism and the hospitality industry, I got to tell you, I was going to say I'm pulling my hair out, but I can't do that anymore. It's all gone, Bubba.
You clean cut.
But because it's so frustrating. On the other side of the coin, you know, we have a pandemic, we have a disease. I think that a lot has to come down, in a way, good or bad, to what the state tells us to do or that we can or cannot do. You know, somebody asked me the other day, said, you know, what's the difference with the number of people, whether they're in a sporting event or whether they're in church or whether they're in a bar? I got to tell you, 50 people in a church can stay away from each other a hell of a lot longer than 50 people in a bar. So I think that, quite frankly, everybody, or 95% of the people in this community, realize we depend on tourism and would like to see a solution. It's a solution to just throw the doors wide open. I don't think so.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, a lot of news coming in with cruise ships. Fats, what you want to do is just get that on the Facebook. We on the live show. We keep it blood raw out here. You know what happened the other day on the live show?
Right.
I'm glad you wasn't here because you quick to act. Guess what happened in the middle of the live show? They tried to steal my man, who was Michael Knowles' bike in the middle of the program.
You should have had the police shoot.
But you know what happened?
Right.
Who is Michael Knowles handled that situation with a young kid? No police was called.
Of course not.
And we kept it moving, and everybody went home safe. That's how things should be. You know.
So here I just got a clarification on something.
Okay.
So I write, I apologize, just to clarify, if a group of 10 or less sits at the bar within a restaurant in the county, are they legal since it's a bar within the restaurant? I don't think so. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. The answer is groups have to be at least 6 feet from each other. DBPR says party can't be larger than 10 and restaurants can't exceed 50% capacity total. Right, I understand that.
Gotcha.
But again, what I think is happening today at City Hall is that certain people are trying to, a couple of commissioners want to kind of find a way to incentivize bars to open up because people are desperate for the money. And on the other hand, on the other part of the day is to say, no, we're going to follow state laws strictly. So
you hit it on the head. It's very tough to be a commissioner in a pandemic. It's tough already. This is you know, we call it category 6. Let's be honest. But you know, like I said, me and you, we're going to rock and roll here on Tuesday, The World According to Fats. We're going to give you the information, and then we'll go from there. Red Tater, that's all you, Fats.
Again, Red Tater.
Red Tater, he come in all the time.
All my love to Fats and Louie. What's the $500 fine and 30 days closing of business all about? Somebody's trying to steal real estate, in my opinion. You know, I think it's so convoluted right now that I don't think anybody's thought out far enough to do this to steal real estate. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. And obviously, every time there's a catastrophe, an economic catastrophe in the world, there are people that benefit from it. You know, as long as it's not price gouging, where you know, right when the pandemic first came out, people were trying to sell you a roll of paper towels for $40 and stuff like that. But I don't really think this is a land grab. I think, to be honest with you, there's a lot of people. You and I talked for an hour before the show, and we scratched our heads and tried to make sense of everything that's going on. It's just
very difficult. And also, what a lot of people don't know is that when they wrote this here in front of the city commission, that was already in the books. So don't quote me 1,000,000% because I'm not on the day-to-day, but the 5,000 was in there already, so it's nothing that they added, but I could be wrong. I just really want to get back to normal like everybody else, and this is so much, stuff for the brain that it convolutes the brain, and we're not even in it. Imagine the poor people that got to deal with this regularly day to day. You've been there, you know what it is with just a regular time. Imagine this is crazy. Yeah. So let's be clear, nobody is doing a bad job. Everybody's trying to do the best they can, and we got to kind of meet halfway. But let's move on to cruise ships. As the clock ticks.
Who is Michael Knowles?
Who is Michael Knowles? Listen, that
You want to talk cruise ships?
yeah, listen.
I gotta have a little water.
Go ahead. So as we move into November, which is right around the corner, these things develop every second. So a cruise ship referendum will proceed. Is that correct?
Yeah, the first lawsuit was dismissed by federal Judge Lawrence King in Miami. And then the second one, I think, seeking an injunction to remove the two items from the ballot was heard by Judge Bonnie Helms. And she also said, no, you can basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, you cannot disenfranchise the voters. What Judge King said, if it passes, then you could take a shot at it. But until it passes, it's look. And quite frankly, I understand both sides of this issue. Okay, but I got to tell you, it is hard to try to legally or come across something that takes away the most basic right that we have as citizens, which is to vote on things. You know, and that's what I think happened with this. That it got to the point where referenda was out there, and at that point the horse is out of the gate. But not. Again, I keep saying to you, we need to talk. Regardless of how the vote comes out, we still need to have stakeholders on both sides have conversations, because maybe we've missed something. Maybe there's something that could be tweaked. Maybe there's something that we can talk about for the future. You got to allow everybody an opinion.
Louie C. the Mayor podcast, my opinion is you have to be part of the solution, not the problem. Anybody got a solution, please feel free. I don't care where it came from, as long as we keep it moving here. So what's Atavia saying?
She's saying, well, what is normal in a pandemic?
Nothing.
It's exactly, yeah, exactly. Nothing. I mean, think about it. Who would have said a year ago, okay, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, that there was going to be no baseball, no football, no basketball, no concerts, no theater, no restaurants for a while? I mean, who would have thunk it?
You know what's funny? I seen one of my classmates today. I said, I couldn't tell you when I was in high school if I knew what a pandemic was, but I know one thing: they never told me anything about no pandemic. At one time in your life, you might have a pandemic, because it's once again a movie. We're out of the movie now, but we're now on Netflix. I think we're episode 9, trying to come out of the pandemic. And one thing we do agree on, Fats, is that in hurricane, people's true colors come out. Okay. But on a pandemic, all colors, even the smallest colors that you got, come out. This is it, because this is incredible. It is no books. It's a category 6. So let's go ahead and let the viewers know where they need to go. So right about now, if you want to catch the Facebook Live, make sure you hit the notification button right over here. Woo! And those y'all watching YouTube worldwide, there's a little box right here on the subscribe. Make sure you subscribe there. Hit the button right over here. Woo!
I got it.
So listen, this is going to be for real right now. So me and Fats, we're kicking it. And we came up with a thing now that's called Conch Stories. Let me repeat it, be clear. And I want you to project your voice, because I know you've been at it all day and it's tiring out there. But I want to hear you loud and clear. So we're going to give you, this is not in the movie. You don't read this in the book. This is for a conch story. Some of y'all just came around here a little while ago. You're going to find out today with our first conch story. Whatever story you want to talk about, please go ahead and kick it.
Just let me give you a little quick background. For a while there, people would say, "Boy, we love hearing your stories." And actually, my wife bought me one of the old-fashioned tape recorders, the ones that go tape, play. Yeah. And we sit around and have a few cocktails and start telling a few stories. And it's great because it's telling of a Key West that we all lived up and you remember it. But I got a real short story that I like to tell, and it's I was jackhammering on Duval Street with the bicentennial money, and my buddy David Esquinaldo had the morning shift, and I had the 3 to 11 shift. So he just handed me the hat.
And what company?
No, we're working for Carl Rongo.
Wow, so that's before my time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, I finally get a job at the Bull and Whistle, because they didn't want to hire any locals, believe it or not. So I get a job at the Bull and Whistle, and I'm the new kid on the block. So I have the 3 to 9 shift, the swing shift. I'm learning the ropes. And I'm sitting there one day, and I turn around, and there's this guy sitting at the bar. His name is Monkey Tom. Some of the people may remember Monkey Tom, shrimper, artist. And so I turn around, and Monkey Tom is at the bar with a chicken on his shoulder. And I turn around and I say, "Tom, get the damn chicken out of my bar. Tom, get out." And he says, "Yeah, but that guy's got a parrot." And I said, "Well, the parrot's not shitting all over you and all over the bar." right? It's stop. Just get out of my bar. So, I get busy. A little while goes by, and all of a sudden I turn around, and there's Monkey Tom sitting at the bar, Louie, like this.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody can see that, right?
Can they see that, Mike?
Yeah, they can see that. This is Tom sitting at the bar, right? So I turn to him and I say, Tom, what did I tell you about the chicken? And he says, what chicken?
That's only in the concrete public.
Little short story, but I've been laughing about that for 40 years.
Listen,
now. Classic character.
And that's the whole key. We have to learn how to use humor to relieve stress. So conch story number 1, we're going to keep telling you stories. And the stories could get gangster, so you got to tune in so you can see what is going on. But that is fabulous. I love to hear these stories. And I'm glad that you're working. I think I'm putting a book, or you already have.
No, we're working on a book. And just let me say this for the record. All of these stories are memoirs. They're not 1,000% accurate. This is how you put a book out there and not go to jail. So I'm just kidding. But they're great memoirs, great stories. And the 70s here, Louie, were just amazing. Just the bar business, Duval Street, it was all so vibrant. We had such a wonderful, somebody told me today, they said, people tell me that Duval hasn't changed. And I said to them, what was on the corner of Duval and Southern Street? He said, let me give you a hint. They had a giant clock in front of it. You know what that was called? That was William Gamble Jewelers.
Wow.
And they had been there for 50 years. And so now, and nothing against anybody's right to make a living, but now it's like a trinket shop.
Gotcha.
So in the 70s we had no money. The Navy left in 72. We had nothing. We had bicycles, and then smuggled. Anyways, that's another story. But it was a different time. It was a fun time. A small town. That hurricane attitude was almost year round.
Right.
You relied on your neighbor to eat, to drink, whatever.
Yeah, different time, different animal, but you wouldn't trade them for the world.
No.
I'm gonna let you take this one. I see this young lady who we got there. Can you see that?
Teresa Ann Corbett.
Yes.
We should be in stage 3 of returning to American citizens again.
What's your opinion?
I don't know what she means exactly. Whether we should be in stage 3 for reopening. Is that what she means?
I'm not sure what she means, but if I had to guess, she wants things to go back to normal, and I do too.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we can't. And I'll be the first one to tell you when to turn up. We can't open everything back to normal at 100%, and it's impossible. But we are definitely struggling in the service industry, and we definitely need to get past this stage. I'm hoping it's favorable today at the commission.
Yeah, that's what Teresa's going after. So it's just so you know, they have created these guidelines for if X number of new cases and X number of deaths decrease to such a point, you're now in stage 2. And then if blah, blah, if it decreases more, you go to stage 3. And that's what Teresa's talking about.
Right.
The problem with that is I see it every time I get my hopes up, you find out of somebody else that went to ICU. Look, let's be clear about something, okay? When we closed the highway down, there was 30-some, 40 cases maybe. There was 3 or 4 deaths, by the way. Rest in peace, my brother David Sweeting was one of them. And we had 30, 40 hospitalizations, 100, whatever the case may be. We opened the road, and within 3 weeks, it spiked 15 times.
Correct.
That's a big rise of cases. And quite frankly, we are a tourist economy. We want to welcome tourists, but tourists are going to have to learn to have to keep their mask on.
There's no question. I think the mask is working great. I just want common sense with rules. I'm all about common sense. The problem is like corporations, for example. If you call, let's say, AT&T, and they have a procedure for some on page 7 that says this is what it is, black and white. There are people that will go in between and they see that there's a special case, but they train you. What did the book say? This is what it is.
Right.
So I always say a corporate with a little bit of mom and pop is the best way to deal with it. That's the way I like to see it. But come on in, let me know who is what year did you graduate? We got the roll call for Key West Conks. So I got Samir 71, 86. What year did you graduate? And let me ask you a question.
71, who was it? Dennis Wardlow? Because Dennis was like 1948.
No, I think that was Doris. Doris came out strong.
Yeah.
Doris went to Key West High, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Stock Island. Let me ask you this, Tony. Have you been on Duval lately in the daytime?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So
it reminds me of summer 1973.
It's very dire down there. And I'm gonna tell you a critical story that I talked to somebody the other day. So what happened was, I said, man, I don't think we can survive much longer down here if something don't change. There's a lot of people already left. A lot of people boarded up. It almost looks like you're preparing for a hurricane. It's very, if you feel it in your heart, if you're from here, that you could feel quiet. It's just not. It doesn't make anybody really happy when you see that. So you know what the gentleman told me? He said, yeah, you're seeing that, but you don't know that I myself have 8 tenants who 8 of them have not been able to pay rent on Duval. So imagine that you ride by there and then my 8 are closed, and how many more people like me that their tenants haven't paid. So we're to me, we're on the brink of bankruptcy downtown.
I said it is a economic catastrophe. My friend Markowski from the Hemingway House, he had to let go 30 people.
Right.
That's a big chunk of money. And I'm fortunate enough that I've worked in a job and I worked for a set of bosses that treat me like family, and I've been able to keep my job. But when I look around and see people in line trying to get food and stuff like that, it still tugs at your heartstrings.
Absolutely.
And you talk about the hurricane mentality, and that's something that we do here year round. You know that. We take care of each other. Whoever's down, we pick each other up. You're right. It gets stronger during a hurricane. But the difference between a hurricane and a pandemic is that a hurricane is a short-term event.
Exactly.
So that if we, for example, right now, we want to help the people in Louisiana or in Texas that got impacted. We round up some black beans, whatever. We send them to them. We send them water. We send the firefighters and the linemen from Keys Energy. By the way, they all do a great job. And then you know what? They go help over there, and we keep our life over here. The problem is this is worldwide.
Right.
There's no respite. There's no escape clause.
Bottom line is there's very few people living that have been through this.
Well,
very few.
Let me say this to you: the Spanish flu pandemic, if I remember correct, went from 1917 to 1921.
Correct.
And part of the reason World War I ended was more soldiers were dying from the flu than they were from the bullets.
Absolutely.
So they said, look, maybe we should rethink this. And that lasted all that long a time. I always say this: Jonas Salk, who, by the way, yay Pittsburgh, that's for my wife. Comes from Pittsburgh. He developed the polio vaccine. It took him 25 years to develop the polio vaccine. Man, you can't. If we had a vaccine ready today, we have to have groups. Absolutely. You have to inject people to see how it came out. It's a bad. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel here for a long time.
We got some small band-aids that we're doing. Small, not the big ones. In the box they come to very small. Well, here and there we're doing progress, but we're far from a vaccine. It's not going to be tomorrow. That much
and the reason deaths are decreasing is like the medical, the care people, the healthcare people are learning. For example, you no longer keep a person on his back on a ventilator. You put him on his stomach. You don't treat it like a flu and pneumonia. You treat it like a blood clot, because you get microscopic blood clots. You also right away start with steroids. So and there's, as we noted last week, there's new medicines coming along that are proven helpful. So do we need a vaccine to beat this? No, but to beat it completely, yes. But to make advances, we just need to continue.
Michelle Marie all day with the 305 Miami Hurricanes coming out of the comp cuts. Backed up by Big Mickey, 1987. That girl, she represents like UM, right? 305 or
UM, baby.
Okay, so right there, that's for you, Michelle. 305 all day. Mickey Margrat, I'll see you pop on the screen. Hey, can y'all do me a favor? Can y'all get Mickey Margrat on the line? Tell him about Fats and Louie C looking for him, because at Florida State they're chopping. Ain't nowhere to be found right now. It's all hurricanes, baby.
Let me tell you a story about Mickey Margaret. I love Mickey. He used to cut my hair, right? And I'd go in and he'd go, "Cuz, let me just buzz it off." And I go, no. He'd go, "What? For the amount of hair you got, you might as well just shave it, right?" So I started shaving it. So I see him on the street someday and he goes, "Cuz, at least let me trim your beard or something. You're killing me. You took the money out of my pocket. I said, you're the one that told me to shave my head. But I love Mickey.
That's a
great ball player. Him and his brother both.
Comp Cuts, big shout out. Look, we throwing the 305s, Hurricanes up all day. Key West High School, what year did you graduate? Come on in on the podcast. Right now, make sure you hit the notification button right over here. Woo! And those of y'all watching worldwide on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button right over here. Woo! Who's that right there?
My boy Ron Bailey.
Bailey in the building, straight out of Stockholm. Yeah. Bailey is a good man. You know, we work with him very well. So, Big Giannis, how is the hotel business going?
You know, not well. I mean, we're looking 50, 60% if we're lucky. And remember that where I'm at is a resort. It's a timeshare resort, so it's a different format, which makes it even scarier because these people already own that week.
Right.
It ain't like they're saying, well, let's not spend the money during COVID.
Right.
So they already own the week. And, you know, approximately 40, 50% of them are saying thanks, but no thanks.
Wow.
My sister is a nurse in Las Vegas, and she said you could not pay her to get on an airplane right now.
Right? I mean, and this is the point that I bring up. Nobody forces you to travel, right? Nobody forces you to go to the corner. Nobody forces you to go downtown. So let people decide what they want to do. So I got, we're going to go back to Mickey Mulgrew about time. See how that coconut telegraph work?
Yeah.
So this red tater coming in series here. I'm going to let you take that.
Yeah. Obviously, this guy's a very educated guy because he knows his stuff. 50 million people died during the 1918 Spanish flu. Vaccines are not the answer. Therapeutics are. The flu and AIDS proves that. We could move on tomorrow if we embrace that.
Ivermectin.
Yeah. Look, I think that right now the way to approach this is from all angles.
Yeah.
Any guy wants to come out here, you know, which doctor wants to come from the Amazon River with 2 rabbit ears and a guava fruit and mash them together and make it work? Amen. We're going to try it because we're desperate.
Let me tell you something. So, Advanced Urgent Care Protocol, brand new protocol, the first of the keys to do it. I'm going to tell you how the breakdown is. This is very simple. So, all of a sudden, tomorrow you wake up, you can't taste well, you have a shortness of breath, everything looks, talks, walks like
That's every morning for me, Louie. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Walks, talks, looks like COVID, right? So, now this is the new protocol. You go in to the Advanced Urgent Care, either in Key West, Marathon, and Key Largo. Immediately, before test results are back, they give you the ivermectin.
Why not?
So now, based on that new protocol, we're at 99.9%, which I'm talking about. These are actual people that came on the show, described how it happened, how it broke down. 12 hours ago, you couldn't walk down a flight of steps.
Yeah.
And now, 12 hours later, you're running down the stairs. So this is absolutely fabulous. You know, we always got people that pull up on here, ain't no telling, out here on the line. So we got some people in the parking lot. That's when you seen us looking over there on the left. The other day we had a security concern, but we had to call the code red. But who is Mike Knows took care of that. Mm-hmm. Fats, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Would you be in favor of free parking for God-beloved locals downtown?
100%.
Okay. So
now let me put my other hat on. Okay, 100%.
Yeah.
When I was a city commissioner, okay, we discussed this a lot. It's one of the major incomes to the city. You know, I believe, if I remember correctly, the couple of years ago, the city net operating income on parking was close to $10 million.
How much?
About $10 million.
$10 million.
$9 to $10 million. So that's a big chunk of money. And quite frankly, at one point, they wanted to string me up and tar and feather me because I proposed a tax rate of 2 café con leches a month, $4 a month. Because I don't know a lot about budgets, but I can tell you if your budget's here and your services are here, if your budget goes here, your service goes here. Gotcha. And we were running behind. I wanted to. I know nobody likes to raise taxes, but it's $4 a month.
Well,
and so what we did is we added more parking meters and more parking meters. And, you know, it gets to the point, you know, people want you to come downtown and spend money rather than order stuff from Amazon. There's nowhere to park for a local to park.
Bottom line is, if the citizens are getting beat up, we have to join the cause in the city. Got to get beat up a little bit to join the cause and help people, because those couple of dollars could go turkey sandwich instead of the parking meter.
Yeah.
So in this time, I'm not saying forever. I'm saying we haven't lacked anything like that. I understand we need every revenue we could get, but I'll be honest with you. You call it like you said, blood raw. That we didn't. It wasn't in the budget for these fines or mask either. So that's kind of found income. Let's be very, very clear. We didn't have a pencil line item for that, but we're still way down. And I just think that you have to give people a break. Mickey Margaret, go ahead. What are you talking about?
Mickey Margaret, my feeling on that parking is when you renew your tag, pay a $20 fee, gives you parking for 1 year. I can live with that.
Okay, that's
Listen, I don't care if you have to pay $50 for a year.
Bailey came back on.
Yeah, they used parking income to give lower paid city workers a raise from $12. Yeah, no doubt, Ronnie, and much needed, much needed. When I first got involved in the politics, community service had 3 or 4 workers, and we managed that city commission, which it was a contentious commission. You know why? But we got a lot accomplished, and we took them up from 3 or 4 employees to 12 employees. So we need that. And absolutely, it's a good point. The point I'm trying to make is you have a balance here. You want to give some locals free parking or cheap parking, and you want to generate income to pay. At some point, your taxes have got to go up, man. Just a couple of dollars. It's just living, you know. It is what it is.
One thing about that I admire about Commissioner Giannis is he's able to look at this from both sides of the fence, because he comes from the streets like me, but he could go in the boardroom. So me and him still could go on 11th Avenue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people that sit at the yacht club with me and you can still go, they can't go to 11th Avenue. They can, but they can't relate because they're out of touch. That's why I make it a point to walk the street, see what's going on. I'm not going to just see something on the social media and take that to heart. Because when I walk down there, I can see what's going on.
But it's like you say, but like me, you know, they know who I am in Johnson's Grocery. You know, they know who I am down in that side of town. They know who I am in
Conch salad.
Stock Island.
Conch salad, #1 across the board. And I tell Tori, I said, is this TripAdvisor? I said, no, there's some stuff we public TripAdvisor. We got our own thing.
Conch Advisor.
We kind of part of the United States for those y'all watching, but we really not. We all the way at the bottom. Miami says we're the bottom. I have to correct them. You pull the map, we're really at the bottom, 90 miles from Cuba. But like you said, when people start getting laid off from the Hemingway house, this is not one red flag. This is like 3 red flags at one time. Sure. This is really scary. I don't think we ever been in a scarier situation financially in our time living here in Key West, in my opinion.
During the Depression, like the rest of the country, we had a very difficult time here. And that was the time when the federal government sent a gentleman down named Julius Stone. And he decided that Key West could create a tourism. And, you know, people go, oh, yeah, we've been tourists the last 20, 30 years. Well, you know, we made that decision in 1930, Bubba. Right. And times were hard. I also, you may be a little young for that, but when the Navy left in 72, Bubba, times, it was very, very difficult. But, you know, each catastrophe brings its own. And here's the thing. Nostalgia means you don't remember the bad stuff. Right. Oh man, the 72, 73, it was beautiful. No air conditioners, no cars, no money.
Right.
So, but I think that definitely this qualifies as something because of the duration.
Now you forced me to go on Mickey Margaret again. Unfortunately, Mickey, in case you forgot, what year was that?
72.
In 72, there was one team out of Miami, the Miami Dolphins. You know a guy named Don Shula, just passed away recently, 90 years old. We was perfection. That means we didn't lose a game with no ties, and I believe we're the only one in the history to still do that. So I don't know. I know you don't like it, but you and Gandalf have to put respect on the Miami Dolphins name. These are facts. You can argue opinion, but you can't argue facts. So, you know, Mickey, I love you. Conch Cuts in the building, doing it big. See, you set Mickey up for that on 72.
No doubt. I'll say this, Mickey and his brother are both outstanding softball players. And a dear friend of mine, Jerome Grapp, Mickey probably remembers, just passed away. He was a hell of an outfielder, a great tennis player. And, you know, we had Perry Court back then, and Perry Court was like a different planet, a different universe, because we could, you know, drink beer or do whatever other things we had to do back then, but there was no neighborhoods around it.
Right.
And we used to have, 72-hour tournaments all night long, and
You guys were the kings of the court.
oh man, we had some great times.
See, Michelle Marie, even though she's over there at Concuts with Mickey, she don't let them off. See what she got there? She got the Dolphin emblem out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then this year, Mickey, I don't know if you watched the draft, but we have a good quarterback. So, y'all got problems coming down there. Miami, the Hurricane, we still struggling, but we going to get there. So, Fats, there you go. Keep living in the Patagonia.
Let me say this. Let me say this, and you're gonna hate me.
Go ahead.
I think the Miami Dolphins are gonna be disappointed in Tua.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Me too, but I think they're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah. Bro, let's get a man his fair chance.
Oh no doubt. It's really tough coming in. The ideal situation is you bring him in and you let him work. Like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You bring him in, you let him work under Roethlisberger for a couple of years, or a guy like Brady, and you let them slowly come up through the ranks and learn the game. When you need a quarterback really bad and you throw him to the wolves.
Yeah, that's tough. You're going to use sink or swim. That's for sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. Just a lot of money.
Mickey says, keep living in the past on that 72 season. Mickey, all I'm going to say to you, I don't care what they say about you, all right, in my book. I love you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Fats, I think we finally can get on the same page with the city and the county.
Okay.
And basically, I've done a little bit of research, and I think in November, there's going to be some things brought up in the county that's going to give everybody a seat at the table for the emergency management. As you know, the county's got 5 people on there, and nobody in the city, you didn't have a seat there, nobody had a seat there. So now they're talking about including everybody, City of Key West, Marathon, Key Colony. Yeah. And I think like that, you might not agree, but at least you have a seat on the table. It's tough to get stuff done if you can't even sit at the table, right?
I agree. Actually, the issue is not that the city had its own EOC, and Marathon has its own EOC, and the county has its own EOC, because I was a part of it when I was involved, in what I did as a commission. But I think what you're saying is there needs to be a joint plan of action.
Gotcha.
And so I think you have to create. I've always advocated, and it's been done a couple of times, that there is at least every 4, 5, 6 months that there be a joint city-county meeting of the 2 sets of commissioners to air different things out to the public. And again, we go back to the ombudsman. The city needs to hire somebody that the constituents and the community leaders and business leaders and other interested parties can reach out to that person, and that person can then convey. But if you take that a step further, having joint meetings with both the county and the city commission, I think will be very, very fruitful. And I think both Mayor Carruthers and Mayor Johnston would be open to that suggestion.
I come from the school of common sense. I'll be honest with you, when I was in school, they threw their chemistry. I appreciate chemistry, I really do, but I would say I don't understand why I need to do any type of chemistry. I just need to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But chemistry comes in handy. I didn't learn the chemistry I did well or whatever, but I tell you, I go back to the common sense. Yeah. You have to sit and dialogue. Once again, be part of the solution, not the problem. What that boy Mickey said to you.
Love both of you, and thanks for doing what you're doing. Fast, grow that hair back. I'm starving, LOL. You got it, cuz I'll come in for a little beard trim. You got it.
My man. So let me know what class you in. We're about to get out of here. Key West Conk, if somebody's got an update, it was going to City Hall, because I know it's going down. Right now, that'll be fabulous. Tomorrow is really going to be critical with a capital C. Chief Sean Brandenburg will be in the building. We taking all questions. We don't do like the county. We don't pick questions. Anybody is allowed to ask a question as long as you put respect on people's name.
Yeah.
Thank you, FloridaKeysEnergy.com, Lawyers for Accident in the Keys. If you have an accident, moped, car, bicycle, or God forbid on a boat in that ocean, make sure you go to FloridaKeysEnergy.com. Locals taking care of locals, 302 Southern Street. Dr. Burrows back on the program Friday. Advanced Urgent Care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. And I got to tell you, I haven't took Fats here, but I'm going to have to take him over here too. Have You Found Paradise, 124 Duval Street. Been looking for new Cuban food for 20 years. I still get it from the house of my mom, but not a new place. So check it out. It's a little bit hard to find, but when you find it, you're going to be happy as pie. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel and always tune in. We always gonna take care of you. We love you. Fats, what else is going on? Fats got the hater blockers on there.
I'm just waiting for the results from the city commission as to which way to go.
Hold on. Who is Michael Nosa? You see this phone? I gotta tell you.
The bat phone.
We're not supposed to tell you this, but when you're a city commissioner, they give you this bat phone, and when that bat phone ring, it's like for real. You know, like the bat phone in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
It's for real. So we're gonna get an update on that.
If we do, yeah.
And Fats, all I gotta say is, I'm gonna be very clear here for those of y'all. Anybody got a problem with Fats, they got a problem with me.
Likewise.
The world according to Fats. Holla!